Welcome back to another episode of Reboot. And firstly, thank you for all of the comments, the likes, and the large number of subscribes to the channel following the last video on Buddhism and the values and how they appear in the comments box of videos. To be honest, sometimes it's quite challenging to think of content for this channel, but this subject kind of fell in my lap. I've been seeing all over YouTube and all over videos that I watch, creators monetizing their content. And that's the subject for this vlog, on how sometimes lived experience doesn't match up with the digital products that they're selling. So I hope you enjoy this video, and as ever, I will see you in the next one. Thank you. This video is especially for people overseas who are dreaming of a new life in the East. If you're sitting in a Western city right now, burnt out, thinking of starting over somewhere slower, warmer, grounded, this is for you. And this video came out of something I saw recently that honestly made me pause. A former lifestyle vlogger who once lived in Cambodia has now reappeared in Pattaya, Thailand. He used to post daily riverside walks, talks about wellness, and selling ebooks on health, self-discipline, and mindful living. At the time, his content felt calm, grounded, and even aspirational, always surface level. Now he's live streaming from red light bars, openly mocking Cambodians and the country that he claimed wants to love, and still promoting the same ebooks that were built on a completely different tone and image. It's an extreme example, yes, but it's revealing, because in a way it exposes how flimsy some of these identities really are. He went from promoting clarity to broadcasting chaos, from sharing health tips to exploiting shock value, and yet the digital storefront remains the same. And this is not just inconsistency, it's a warning about how performative this space can be. But it also got me thinking, this isn't just one guy, it's a pattern. Across Southeast Asia, there are creators repacking temporary peace as permanent truth and selling it. They monetize the illusion of personal growth, and they do it in places where reinvention is easy, accountability is low, and the cost of failure can be hidden with a good edit. So today we're going to take a deeper look at this trend, the rise of self-declared expat gurus. We'll explore the digital wellness industry that has emerged around relocation, spiritual buzzwords, and soft scams wrapped in pastel fonts. And more importantly, we'll talk about how to separate truth from illusion when you're in a vulnerable space. This isn't about call-outs, it's about caution. There's a pattern that's become all too familiar. An expat moves to Southeast Asia, Bali, Chiang Mai, Kampot, Da Nang, Siem Reap. They arrive burnt out, and they feel better within a few months, and suddenly they become a guide for others. They start creating content, morning routines, gratitude journals, simple food, nature walks and quiet reflections, overlays of soft piano music and words like alignment, presence and clarity. Then comes the product line, ebooks on mindfulness, courses on finding your purpose, move to Asia blueprints. Many of these blueprints are framed as avoid my mistakes. But here's the irony, most of these creators haven't been here long enough to make real mistakes, let alone process or learn from them. They're often still figuring things out while selling the illusion that they've already found the answers. I've seen creators in Thailand promise passive income strategies whilst quietly asking for donations in the background. I've seen wellness coaches in Vietnam who quietly drop off the map when their programs don't deliver. In Bali, you'll find dozens of self-declared healers and spiritual consultants charging hundreds for breathwork sessions whilst living in emotional burnout themselves. And they all follow the same script. Present a polished version of healing, tell a redemption story that ends in a tropical setting, and package that narrative and sell it as replicable. And because the production value is good, the tone is soothing, we believe it. We believe we're seeing the end of a journey, not the first few steps. And what they're really selling isn't guidance, it's aesthetic stability, the appearance of peace, the illusion of control, and the idea that you can download and imitate your way into a new self. So let's talk about the actual products. $29 for ebooks on journaling, $59 for courses on how to align, $150 relocation guides, move to Asia and avoid my mistakes, one-off breakthrough sessions at $200 an hour, group coaching intensives sold as retreats. And these products are often packaged beautifully, soft colours, minimalist design, catchy slogans like live with purpose or the freedom framework. They feel comforting, they feel like genuine solutions. But when you look closer, many of them are just stitched together blog posts, Canva templates, recycled self-help content that's been around for decades. And the target audience, people in transition, people in pain, people who have just quit their jobs, ended a relationship, or burnt out from modern life. People who are desperate for a new path and willing to pay for clarity. But here's the truth that many don't realise. The real information you need is already out there, and it's free. Practical advice on visas, rentals, cost of living, cultural adjustment, all of that is available online. Forums, YouTube videos, Reddit threads, local Facebook groups, there's no shortage of insight from people who've done the move before you. And if you ask around, you'll find that most expats in Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Bali, or anywhere else are more than happy to share their experiences, answer questions, and help newcomers, often at no charge. Speaking from personal experience, people here pay it forward. You don't need to buy a blueprint to find your way. To be fair, not all of it is useless. Some creators do offer value. Some are thoughtful, grounded, and genuinely helpful. But many are simply repeating what they read elsewhere, hoping to cash in before the illusion cracks. And when the products don't work, buyers often don't get angry, they get ashamed. They think, maybe I didn't commit enough, maybe I'm not spiritual enough, maybe I'm still too attached to the West. But the real answer might be simpler. You were sold an idea that looked like peace, but had no roots. So I believe that mistakes are where the growth happens. But before we get into that, let's be honest about something. We want to be given the answers. When life feels chaotic, when we're tired of the grind, when we're scared to make mistakes, it's incredibly tempting to buy into someone who says, here's the plan, just follow me. That's part of why this whole industry thrives. We crave clarity, we crave safety, and deep down a lot of us are afraid that if we mess it up, we'll fall too far to recover. And that fear makes us susceptible to smooth talkers with checklists. But here's the part that nobody markets. You're supposed to get it wrong. Moving abroad is messy. You'll misunderstand things. You'll get lonely. You'll change your mind. You might blow your budget. You might end up somewhere that doesn't feel right. You might have to start over twice. But in my opinion, that's where the growth happens. You learn by doing, by stumbling, by reflecting, and by slowly, patiently figuring out what your version of freedom looks like. And the people selling you a blueprint often skip that part. But the hard, uncomfortable bits, that's where you build resilience. That's where you meet your real self. So don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid of building a life based on someone else's performance. You can go from a burnt-out recruiter in California to a purpose mentor in Pi, with nothing but a ring light and a yoga mat. You can land in Phnom Penh and call yourself a digital detox coach by the weekend. And because the visuals are convincing, people believe it. They see a man on a scooter, sipping a coconut, writing in a journal, and they think, he's figured it out, he's free, I want that. But what they don't see is the unpaid debts, the quiet panic, the empty days. The influencer you're following might be only 3 months from collapse, but the branding is still live. In Southeast Asia, it's easy to reinvent, but it's also easy to lie. And that's why we need to be careful. So what do we take from all of this? It's not that everyone selling an ebook is a fraud, and it's not that you shouldn't learn from others. But when you're in a vulnerable place, be careful who you trust. Be cautious of anyone selling certainty. Be cautious of anyone who presents their personal story as a universal solution. Be cautious of people who never show the messy parts. Because no one blueprint fits all. What worked for them might not work for you, and what looks like peace might be just performance. So instead, I would say trust your own process. The slow days, the fear, the boredom, the moments where you feel like you're going backwards, that's still a part of the journey. Your real reboot might not look like a brand, it might not be postable, but it will be yours. So thanks for watching, and wherever you are in your path, may it be your own, not someone else's funnel.